And we are back with yet another episode of R&R. It's Jamerson Ballard. I'm the host. How y'all doing this afternoon, man? Happy Monday. Yeah. I mean, as happy as it can be, because today's episode is entitled The Sleepwalker's Nightmare. Yeah. And you like, Sleepwalker, what the fuck is that, Jamerson? Listen. I mean, it's a lot going on right now, and I gotta get. I'm a little bit mad, because I don't want this shit to just be funny. I really don't. I mean, it's edutainment, right? But now I gotta be all serious and shit because people think that this is a fucking joke, bro. They think that because, and I say they, but I'm really talking about us. Us as in foundational Black Americans, or even just you know the Black American who I mean, who might not understand what's really going on. You know, um, we are prisoners of war. We're behind enemy lines, and just because you're able to have sex with different races of people, without it being illegal or you getting hung or hurt or harmed for that specifically, you know, you're not safe. We're not safe. Everything is not okay. And we get into these areas of, and a lot of people throw the word woke around, woke, like, and I'm not trying to use it in a derogatory way. I'm just saying, if you are under the impression that because you have made enough money or you've done enough to where you can be where all white people are, and you think that you're safe now, you're not safe now. And I'm talking to those of us who, and hey, before I get too far off into it, shout out to the Red Gang, shout out to the Capoletta Club, and shout out to the ladies and gentlemen who have just arrived to to the platform. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate y'all on the replay. But yeah, I got to pull niggas coattails so they understand what's really going on. But because you got you an Asian lady, a white lady, to all the brothers and sisters who have delineated or not even delineated. I'm sorry. Who? What's the word I'm looking for? um. Yeah, I think you can say delineate. I mean, you delineated. You decided to go with a different group. Your love has taken you with a different culture of people. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just there are things that come with this, right? Because there are benefits, but then there are drawbacks, and some of these drawbacks you can't afford to ignore or inform your child about, man, because then you'll end up experiencing the same thing that Nolan's parents have experienced, and that's something nobody wants to experience. You know what I'm saying? But to keep it short, right? If you're awake, I mean, you're not awake, but you're walking around that, you're not awake. You're just like sleepwalking. You understand what I'm saying? You're mistaking activity for awareness or whatever. It's not the same thing as being, you know, you can be aware of something and think because you live in a neighborhood that they're not experiencing hardship, your children that is. And they might not say nothing to you, but you know, a lot of these people don't like us for whatever reason. They don't like to see us around, seeing us, or they're being taught hate at home. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like altogether evident sometimes because it's covert. But then you get into these spaces and they're going to places, you know, you might think you know the family. If you've done enough due diligence to even take it that far. But then you allow your kid to go somewhere out where, you know, and they're kids. They get into things, they get upset with each other. But we're going to a bit of a deep dive. We got a lot of shit. We got a, a robust show for you this afternoon. It's Jamerson Ballard promises to bring you, you know, the heat. It's summertime. It's a lot of, you know, bacterial, stinky, shitty circumstances, and we gonna crack jokes about all that shit. We gonna have a good time today, man. But right now we got to deal with some of this because uh, on the segment I like to call "Is That Right?" Talk about what's happening. We ain't gonna spend too much time on this specifically because it is kind of a sad thing. But what we'll do is because the crazy part is, I mean, this happens all the time. We don't really want to have a microphone, you know, a magnifying glass on some of this because it brings up, you know, emotions, and we still have to interact and work and do, but we have to keep it real. This is an issue, man, and it's like a lot of white Anglo Saxons are are also supposedly up in arms and saying how they feel about this and it's bad. They don't like the way it makes them look, and I'd like to see a lot more of that. Shout out to y'all that are with the sympathizers, the empathizers, you know, the you know the allies. We fuck with y'all. We appreciate y'all exposing what's really going on because there are some things that are happening. There's a manipulation tactic apparently that's at work called Darvo, right? So Darvo, let me see, let me make sure I get this correct, is okay. Deny. Oh, here you go. So it's deny, attack, reverse, victim. So reverse victim and offender, right? So you're reversing the victim and the offender because the offender acts like the victim, and I don't see how it's deny, right? Attack the victim, right? And reverse the victim and offender roles. That's some sinister ass shit. It's gaslighting to like the second degree, right? And it's like they got a whole community of people participating in this exercise of you know what I mean? This high end, what's the word I'm looking for? Degeneracy. And that's not even high end. It's just it's because it's it's ingrained in the white supremacist psyche, I think, you know. And I'm not somebody made a joke that was funny as fuck. It was like let white people be racist because what the fuck? If what if everything was when you talentless and you got a little dick, like you gonna hate. That's what they good at. That's all they got left. You know what I mean? You see somebody else, with shit that you can't do, can't have, and it's genetic. It's probably irritating. I'm hearing that the Europeans are upset with black people, the melanated individuals, because out in Europe, they're going through the heat stroke. It's not even hot out there. It's only like maybe 103 degrees. That's Texas in the summer afternoon. That maybe not even including the humidity that but they're experiencing heat that they haven't normally experienced, and they're upset. They're upset with us, or Americans too, because they're saying Americans being able to use stuff like that is also ruining the environment for others. Like it's making the climate hotter. It's been 100 years. I don't think that since this shit has begun. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, uh, let's kind of narrow it down some to what's going on. All right, so we got, not only do we have the Nolan situation where, I mean, they saying that this dude lived to see July 5th. He left the place where they said he was stranded at the island, came back and was uh, had attended a party that night. They got pictures. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me just. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen right quick. We're gonna get into this a little bit. Like I said, we're not gonna try to spend too much time on this, but it needs to be done. Y'all bear with me.
So allegedly, Nolan did leave the island and he went back to Wyatt's house for a pool party. And during that pool party, there was an altercation between Wyatt, Nolan, Evan, and somebody else. And apparently, they beat.
Okay, so this is the picture of bro right here at the party. I don't know why they got this circled. It's kind of dim. I can't see that good, but and they saying, hold on, they saying that they beat that man after the party, like after they got to it, and what now?
Nolan to death with some sort of bar or pole. There are people that are putting out witness statements stating that they were there and they saw Nolan spitting up blood and that these boys it on Nolan. They are saying that.
So they beat the man to death with a metal bar, and these people all seen it apparently, and they urinated on the boy, and then
Evan's mother knew about the whole thing. And allegedly, they took Nolan's body.
so Evan's mother is probably trying to help them cover this whole thing up because she don't want her baby to get life in prison or the death penalty.
Back to the water. They're saying that this is the reason why it pinged on land at that house before they found that phone. This is why that boy told his daddy that Nolan was like a brother to me. Was like a
Wow. So they didn't beat the boy to death, urinated on him. What would they be possibly arguing about big enough to where it was something like that? Because Brett met a girl on the little island, got a ride back apparently. They ain't even talking about that. Benjamin Crump posted some of this shit. But I don't know how effective his lawyering is because we're gonna talk about it. I don't know. Whoever he got on his team doing the autopsies or whatever, that bitch ain't about shit. That bitch ain't about a damn. She ain't about shit. They have to send it off to our activated individual of the week, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But they had to send it off.
Brother to me when he showed up to get his car. It's because they already knew he was gone. Is this the reason why they needed dental records? Because he was unrecognizable? This case is starting to bust wide open, and we all knew that something else happened to Nolan. Now the question is, which of the parents helped those kids?
Now you'll see I have the
Right.
picture in question zoomed in here beside me on my screen. You'll see at the top corner here.
So that's what we got right now, bro. And that's just in itself is wild as fuck. And it's all them kids that you seen in that picture is complicit. All of them, everybody that knew that was going on. So now you got more than one or two parents trying to, oh my baby, and these are people. Let's face it, brother. If there's a town where they all know each other, they're probably going to try to keep this shit under wraps. But it can't be like that. That's not right. It's not right, man. But you know, it's not their baby that died. So, you know, but they about to, I don't know, it's a chance they might lose theirs because of the kind of the shit they going through, man. Kind of shit they doing, you know? And it's kind of, it's not like you can always keep up with what your kids are doing. All I mean, you know, unless you're doing like regular checks, which some people don't do. They don't really have a relationship with their kid. They don't talk to them about much, and the kid is purposely not talking to them for whatever reason. But when they get off into these where they don't want to talk or they don't want to explain or they don't want to, you know, you have the right to go in their shit. You paying for everything that they have. You don't have to hope that they'll give you access to their shit. You know what I mean? But the longer you let it go without doing something about it, the harder it is. And this is not the only case of this happening, of course. There's another case that is being discussed out in Texas, and it's a young man that went fishing with a couple of kids and ended up not coming home. And now they're starting to they just now brought charges, but it's just it's kind of time out for all of this. Not even kind of, but when is enough enough? You know what I mean? How much are we supposed to? But the best thing I can say is, you know, make sure you get life insurance, and you know, prevention is always the best, you know, measure so that you don't go through things like that. But you can never be too careful. Where the video is. All right. And so yeah, that's one of the suspects. Apparently, there's two on this kid out in Texas. Uh, Brother, like
tell you about in the death of a North Texas teen. It was supposed to be a fun day of fishing for 3 young men at Lake Ray Hubbard. Instead, it turned deadly after the group jumped in to swim, and 18-year-old Daniel Irving never resurfaced. Now, months later, police have arrested a 19-year-old they say tried to cover up and hide what actually happened that day. Fox 4's Alex Boyer picks up our top story from there.
According to Dallas police, text messages prove that the victim and suspect knew each other and had made plans to meet up and go to a lake back in April. Now, the victim, Daniel Irving, never came home.
R.I.P. Daniel. But yeah, Daniel Irving, his parents, and I hope that everything is, my heart goes out to these parents, man.
His mom reported him missing. It wasn't until nearly 3 months after his body was recovered that police have made an arrest in connection to the case.
19-year-old Lucas Roper is accused of tampering with evidence in connection to the drowning death of 18-year-old Daniel Irving in Lake Ray Hubbard back in April. Irving's body was discovered on April 17th, 4 days after he is believed to have drowned. Irving had reportedly gone to the lake with Roper and a juvenile suspect to swim and go fishing. Days after his body was recovered, Irving's family held this news conference demanding answers.
What do we want? Justice for Daniel Irving. Amen. When do we want it? Now.
Irving's family said then that they wanted a full and transparent investigation. On July 9th, Roper was arrested by Dallas police on 1 count of tampering with physical evidence.
So that's the only thing they got him with. Roper is the young man, the white one. And there's another young man. They can't. I guess he just turned 18 or something. Maybe that's why they're showing his face now. But the other one is probably still a juvenile, and they're not trying to show his face. They be trying to protect, the dominant society's individuals when they be wrong like that. They try to pick really nice, innocent looking pictures of him. They ain't gonna use the mug shots or nothing. You know what I'm saying? They really try to paint it like this is just a troubled kid, which I get, but it's just right is right and wrong is wrong, man. You old enough to kill and plot a murder. That's a man charge. That's a grown man charge, bro. You can't. Not the scheme too. He plotted like that's premeditated. That's definitely capital murder, like murder one, because you plotted the whole trip with the intent of killing the man and drowning him, and he never returned. Got rid of the phone, so you tamper with the evidence. You erase the messages and shit, because you don't want to look like you did something. You know what I mean? Like it's just not cool. It's not cool. I mean, I'm all for mercy. You know what I mean? But that's what could compel you to be so driven because you know that it's not right. Your conscience should be telling you not to do this. You know that you're not gonna get away with it for long if you do it all, and you proceeded to go through with it. Like it can't be over no bitches. I hope to God it ain't over no bitches, but I would not be surprised if this is over a girl. Both accounts. Or, you know what I mean?
According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Roper was interviewed by detectives after Irving's body was found. Roper told police after the 3 of them had jumped into the lake from the railroad track bridge, Irving drowned and Roper panicked. Instead of calling 911, the affidavit states Roper told investigators he deleted all communication with Daniel Irving from his cell phone, adding that Roper confirmed he was aware that there would be an investigation into Daniel Irving's death, and he did not want to get into trouble, and states Roper threw Daniel Irving's clothes in the tree line as they fled the location. The juvenile suspect
Wow.
also told investigators he admitted he threw Daniel Irving's cell phone from the vehicle after suspect Roper told him to.
We, the family, are deeply inclined these individuals intended on no one looking for Daniel, fighting for Daniel, advocating for Daniel.
Irving's siblings said his young life was full of promise.
He had just begun his recruitment to the U.S. Army. He was trained with discipline. He carried himself with a purpose. He believed in building a life of service.
This has been
Oh yeah, he was probably making them niggas jealous by talking about he going to the army. Somebody said something else. I mean, I think that there's a common thing, like they know that black people can't swim. Yeah. So what we gonna do about that? Some of us just gotta get out there and learn how to swim, bro. It's not terrifying, but if you ain't got to do it, I understand. You don't want to learn how to do it. You don't think it's necessary to do it. It's probably like learning how to type or learning how to tap dance or some other shit that you feel like it's not necessarily learn how to do, but swimming is definitely, if you can dog paddle, that's considered swimming. You know how to doggy paddle. If you can do that, you can survive. You ain't got to swim like a it's like a, you know, you ain't gotta be all fancy. Just don't die. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. But what do I know? What do I know?
on our family. Daniel he was our protector. And I have nothing but good things to say about him. He was.
Damn, Daniel. And that's sad, man. 'Cause he couldn't have been that old. He probably was only like 18, 19 years old, man. Promising future in front of him. But you know, we just gotta make sure that we stay on our P's and Q's, man. We be around, dominant societies by ourselves. A lot of us be like, oh, it's everything cool, you good. Look, I like to make eye contact with other individuals of my same hue of melanin. You understand what I'm saying? And let them know that I see them and I'm seeing them seeing me. And because there be some times where I've been in some areas where it's just Anglo Central. And I'm not like talking about like high end whites either. I'm talking about the low level, you know what I'm saying? Confederate flag waving, don't tread on me whites, where, you know, I get it. It's not going to be no one on one nothing. So, you got your location shared, but stay out the water if you can't do nothing else. Okay? I know I'm not trying to make fun of this. I'm just, whatever. Um, yeah. So there is some other shit that we have to pivot to. Because there's some shit going on in the government too. And I think Lindsey Graham died and he's in the Senate. So, I mean, he was old as hell. But before we get into that, there's a Texas teenager while we in Texas, right? The vibe being struck by lightning inside his own house. And I am curious to see how the fuck that worked. So let's look at that and see what's going on while we in the Is That Right segment of the show.
Strikes a Cypress home, shocking a 13-year-old tonight. He lives to tell his story. Only to KPRC2 News reporter Corley Peel. Corley joins us live from the home off Cypress View Drive and Spring Cypress Road with how the bizarre strike happened. Corley.
Keith, fortunately, that teen is okay, but he tells me he was inside his room playing video games on his computer when the lightning went through his house and shocked him. Vlad Skurdin says he was in his room when lightning struck his house.
I was just like sitting here.
Wow.
Everything was going fine. I was just playing games. I was not expecting anything. And there's a metal part right here, and my skin was touching it. So I got shocked, kind of.
The 13-year-old says the shock from the lightning struck him in the abdomen.
I just like jumped out really fast, and I just like, I don't know, I started screaming. I don't know, it was crazy.
Vlad's dad quickly called 911. Firefighters rushed to the scene after lightning hit the home. Harris County Precinct 4 constables say the electrical current traveled through the home's wiring, causing a small fire in the attic. The family showed us the damage, a hole in their wall.
I honestly thought that I was gonna die. Like, I did not think I was gonna survive that. I don't know how I survived it.
Vlad checked out by EMS, but he didn't have to go to the hospital. How are you doing now?
I mean, I'm feeling fine, but like I'm still like a little shocked and dizzy, you know, from.
Y'all remember this face? If this motherfucker end up developing some type of superpower or something, we just need to know that this is where it happened at. It was in Houston. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if you got hit for real. He sounded like he got, some shrapnel of the, you got like a ricochet of it, but it still count though. I mean, basically. So we finna keep an eye on this young man, and if he start running real fast or doing anything too fast, we gonna know. That's all I'm saying.
Not from the shot, from the lightning, but like just everything that happened here. It's crazy.
Vlad says surviving the lightning strike is a reminder to never take life for granted.
Anything can happen at any moment. You just gotta like be ready for it. You gotta be nice to everybody. You know, it can end whenever you want, man.
It's a Cypress home shot.
That was good. It sounded like he took the right message from that. Some people take something like that and think that they are invincible now. And that is the wrong idea to take when it comes to near-death experiences. I'm assuming. And I shouldn't assume. I could be, I don't know. Is there a chance I could be wrong? You didn't die. That does not make you immortal. That just means it wasn't your time to go, possibly. You need to get together with the Most High and figure out what your purpose is, young brother. So you can carry that out, because I don't know. Speaking of that, though, okay, because who knows what's going on? But Lindsey Graham has mysteriously passed, and there are some that think that there might be from it was an assassination, possibly. We're gonna look into that a little bit, but let's figure out who the fuck stands to benefit from his untimely demise, right? Because it's really all about game, right? So we trying to figure out. Okay, I think I heard somebody's sister supposed to take over for him, which is kind of strange. I don't even know what the protocol is for when you take over for it, or like how they pass on the Senate seat if somebody was to pass or something. And I'm asking Siri. Siri punk ass gonna tell me or ask me, you want me to ask ChatGPT, No, I don't want you to ask Chat GPT, motherfucker. I want you to do your motherfucking job. What if I didn't have Chat GPT on my motherfucking phone device servicing me? You would have to do this shit on your own anyway. When did Siri get so motherfucking lazy? The bitch is lazy. I don't like it. I don't like how lazy Siri is now. The bitch is lazy. Clip. All right, so yeah, this motherfucker done died, man. R.I.P. Lindsey Graham or whatever. I don't know who he was. I don't know what he stood for politically. I haven't been paying too much attention to what he does there, but he passed. So let's see. It says that he's his successor. So let's find out who. It really did sound like this dude about to kiss his ass, his dead ass for a minute. But it's supposed to be announcing his successor. Let me see.
The future of the late senator's seat in Congress. Let's listen in.
Described, poor boy from a small town, rural town in South Carolina, accomplished through grit, determination, and character for his state, for his country, and for his world. Lindsey Graham recognized the greatness of America and her obligations to a dangerous world. Lindsey Graham recognized the seriousness.
What is the black dude looking at? He up in the air and shit. He don't really care. This dude is smiling. What the fuck he smiling about? He flirting with somebody on the other side of the camera. She hella sad. I don't know why she's sad. That's probably, I don't know who that is to him. I'm gonna leave him alone.
Of his work, but also the value of humor and a lighthearted spirit. Lindsey Graham understood the hopes, dreams, and needs of his state and delivered for his state every time. Presidents, paupers, famous or forgotten, he treated us all the same. We have seen.
All right, fast forward a second. I'm trying to hear who is going to get the seat
and what he has done for us and the world, as he described himself. He spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears.
Okay, that's who he's my sister, I think.
Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. An honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term.
This niggas that said it's irresistible man. Was they? Man, shut the fuck up. Introduce this lady so we going on.
Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
So what the fuck? Brad just announced that the little sister of this man is finna take over the Senate. Like, does she even qualify? There ain't no vote. Who the fuck? How the fuck they come up with this bitch?
Thank you, Governor, and just bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say, one thing I've never heard Lindsay described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsay was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsay's term. It is such an honor. Lindsay has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and
Man, damn, okay. So she about to take over. I don't understand how they came up with that shit. But we finna figure out if this was an assassination attempt. I'm kind of curious now. I don't know. So let's see. I'm gonna share my screen again. And now this is a dude we've seen on the show before. He be breaking down shit. I think the last time I showed him was when the Epstein had died, or they said he had killed himself, and he was analyzing his his book, or his the book he was doodling in or whatever, trying to show his escape plan or whatever, to see if he looked like, from analyzing this man's writings, that he was somebody that was thinking about killing himself.
Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language and counterterrorism expert. And today we're going to be
body language and counterterrorism,
analyzing whether or not it's feasible that Lindsey Graham could have been assassinated. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. On July 11th, longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham passed away at the age of 71. The cause of death is reportedly aortic dissection with underlying heart disease.
I don't know what aortic dissection is, but underlying heart disease.
What we're going to be analyzing today is if it's feasible that there could be more to it. Could there be something that caused the aortic dissection beyond just natural causes? Shortly after this was announced, I saw people already talking about whether or not maybe a foreign government was involved. Was this something that happened naturally, or was this in fact an assassination that was meant to look like something that happened naturally? First, we're going to watch some recent footage of Lindsey Graham, and then we're going to look at what the evidence supports. All right, let's just jump right in.
Fair use, by the way. Fair use on all the videos.
As of about 30 minutes ago, we've reached agreement with the White House on a version of the Russian sanctions bill that they...
Now, this is his final public appearance. As you can see right now, his energy level, everything about him seems about like normal.
Mm-hmm.
They will support. It means it's going to become law. So when I get back to Washington, I'm going to go with Senator Blumenthal to the Republican and Democratic leader to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump.
Now, obviously, right now he's talking about sanctions against Russia. This is nothing unusual. This is something he's talked about plenty of times and endorsed plenty of times before. But he is someone that very hawkish on both Iran and Russia.
Have the formula to end this war. Help Ukraine be more lethal. Let those supporting Russia to know it's going to be a price to be paid if you keep doing it. And to try to find an off-ramp, not to humiliate Putin, but to end this war so that Ukraine will thrive and survive.
So to state the obvious, Lindsey Graham did have political enemies. He was very big on military intervention with Russia. He also was recently threatened by Iran. Now, if you look at this picture from Khomeini's funeral, this was posted by Lindsey Graham on July 6th. He obviously is jokingly saying, at least they used a good photo of me, judge me by my enemies. But as you can see, Iran, for example, was actively threatening Lindsey Graham. So is there a motive for foreign governments to go after Lindsey Graham? Well, it seems like it. It seems like they made pretty overt threats to him. At least Iran did. Now, as you can see in this video, Lindsey Graham is pretty much behaving like he normally does. If you've ever watched him speak, there's nothing unusual about this. This is basically how he typically comes across. That being said, prior to major cardiac events, there aren't always big signs. So the fact that he wasn't acting unusual and didn't seem unusual is not necessarily indicative that he wasn't going to have an event of this kind. That being said, let's talk a little bit about his family history, and then we're going to talk about the history of the way that foreign governments have
I have to apologize for my internet connection for whatever reason. It's buffering like crazy, and it's very annoying. But let's try to get to this.
as connected as you might think. Something else I've seen people point out is that he likely would have had some world-class medical care, so people would have assumed that he would have caught something like this. That's not always the case, but I at least want to point out that the link between him and his father may not be exactly as it seems. Now, could an aortic dissection be induced? Could somebody cause something like that? Well, that's where we're going to go in and look at the history of people who have been assassinated by foreign governments, or who at least have been attempted to be assassinated by foreign governments. Now, intelligence agencies have assassinated people, and one method that they use can be poisons or toxins. Alexander Litvinenko, for example, he was poisoned with radiation. Alexei Navalny, who actually survived his poisoning, reportedly they put a neurotoxin on his underwear. Now, no government claimed that poisoning of Alexei Navalny, but it doesn't change the fact that this can be how intelligence agencies operate. Now, something like an aortic dissection, how Lindsey Graham passed away, could that be induced by a poison, for example? Well, an aortic dissection can be.
First of all, what the fuck? Who? What is the description of the job where you got to go put some shit in this nigga drawers? Hey, I got an assassination attempt job that I need you to do. Like, oh yeah, bet. What you want me to shoot this nigga in the head? Nah. Hell nah. You want me to poison him? Yeah, yeah, okay. How you want me to do that? Okay. You want me to put it in his food? Nah. I need you to take this neurotoxin and smear it on his drawers. Like, oh my God. Clean or dirty? I mean, so it's like, which drawers is he gonna pick? You gotta, you know what? Just put it on all the drawers. One of these days this week, he gonna put the drawers on, but it ain't strong because he didn't put it on fast enough. So that's why nigga survived. Bro, you ain't getting paid but half the money. He didn't die.
Caused by a massive spike in blood pressure, which can be caused by substances. It can also be caused by poisons. So when you ask questions like this, if they seem conspiracy oriented, this is much more grounded in reality than some of the other conspiracies.
They gave that nigga the nut. He wanted the low sodium chips. They gave that nigga the regular one. Trying to take his ass out. That's all it took.
conspiracies that we've seen floating around recently. Charlie Kirk, for example. Governments want to have plausible deniability. They do not want to execute somebody in front of hundreds or thousands of people unless it is an act of terror. Acts of terror are meant to be public. They are meant to cause confusion. They are meant to cause this sort of collateral damage. Whereas real political assassinations typically look more like this. Typically, someone will die from something that could plausibly be covered up by something else, a natural cause, an accident, so on and so forth. So when you look at a situation like this, he does have a medical history, at least according to what's being reported, that could be consistent with someone who has heart disease. But that's exactly the kind of thing a foreign government would want to use to make it look natural. Like I said, you can induce these kinds of issues with substances, poisons. There's a number of ways to cause something like this to happen.
Is that what happened or not?
And so it's not entirely outside of the realm of possibility that something like this was induced, that was meant to bring minimal attention to the way it was done, but could also have maximum effect. Well, foreign governments certainly have the capability. They also have the motive. But there is no evidence at this point that anybody else was involved. So do I think Lindsey Graham was assassinated? It seems unlikely. I have no specific reason to believe that at this point, but I wouldn't refute it if evidence comes out later that suggests.
And damn. And that's just a long ass no. I get it. I don't know. If a motherfucker can die from eating some chips, he don't need to be in no motherfucking office. But the sister part tripped me out the most. The fact that they finna use this man's sister and she just inherited the motherfucking seat. That ain't how shit supposed to go in politics in America. Man, I don't know what the fuck going on. Hold on, bro. Let me ask my AI. That's who Siri gonna ask anyway. So I'm gonna just ask the nigga myself. I don't know. Hey Jeffrey.
Hey.
Man, what's up, Jeffrey? Can y'all hear Jeffrey?
I'm here.
Listen, bro. Where okay. Lindsey Graham he just died. He in the Senate, right? How do they determine who takes over in the case of someone passing like that?
Let me check real quick. Okay, so if a senator passes away, the seat becomes vacant, and then the state's governor appoints someone temporarily. Then a special election is held to fill the remainder of the term. There's no automatic successor like with the presidency.
Okay. That's all I need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's just gonna be temporary. That's cool because that shit would be weird. But anyway, is that all? Man, I gotta include this too because you know what? That's all I got for Is That Right? The next segment is Celebrity Spotlight. All right. Celebrity Spotlight is brought to you in part by Kicks, the luxury shoe brand brought to you by yours truly. And so, right now, Celebrity Spotlight is pretty self-explanatory. We got a few things going on. I heard about this thing with NBA YoungBoy getting kicked off Future's album, and he going back and forth with Future, like it's supposed to be some type of beef there, and it's just, bro, shut your bisexual ass up, bro. Why is you even mad? Like, if the nigga don't want, your verse was not step it up. That's the only thing you can do. You can't, you know. Or I don't know. I don't know what the deal might be. Maybe I don't think YoungBoy got a problem with Drake or nothing like that because I know Future just start getting back with Drake. So YoungBoy just had the thing, but he didn't. But another, Ben 10, I think, did something with All Stars. I can't really see where that would be. But anyway, I really don't be keeping up with all the factions that are dealing with these individuals, right? Because I'm not necessarily an NBA YoungBoy fan. I don't listen to his music, and Drake I definitely don't. So Future is I don't really, and I won't deny him his credibility for doing what he's done. Coming from where he come from, but I don't listen to his music like that. That's just not. Anyway, so that is going on, but then the thing that stood out to me. Oh, wait. First we got to talk about. Apparently Lunel went to a radio station to do an interview, and she ended up getting into it with the interviewers, and she's going viral for this shit. And I think she even fell down. Let's look at that. That shit is kind of funny. Let me see. Yeah. I got the Fuel interview. We're not gonna look at the whole thing. We're gonna try to, get to the parts where she's irritated the whole time though. The energy, because she like, feel like because she was listening to the interview on the way to the show, and they was asking her what's to do this weekend, and none of the interviewers mentioned her, event while she was on her way to the show, on her way to do the interview. She ain't even got there yet, and this was up from there.
I'm in town and on my way here.
I feel like it would be a better conversation if we had it with you, though.
Now over there looking good.
Shiny.
Yeah, you know what? So I have this thing that I do when I'm on my way to the station. I be listening, right? And so one of y'all said, "What's going on this weekend?" And it was T.I., and all this. And nobody mentioned me, and I'm on my way here. 6 o'clock in the morning.
No.
T.I.'s not down there.
Okay.
I'm on my way
You know
here.
what? You're
You
right.
guys didn't even mention me.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, probably because you know why?
Probably because what?
You get ready to take over the whole hour.
Yeah.
That's what
We don't
you
need
say.
we don't need no one mention.
No, but why wouldn't you have said that I'm here? I'm on my way here.
Yeah.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in my body from the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm the one who came was sitting in the traffic. You think I wasn't listening before I got here?
Oh, I don't know.
Why would you guys not mention that I'm in town and on my way here?
I feel like it would be a better conversation if we had it with you, though.
Is that what you feel?
Yeah.
So does this feel better?
Yes.
It doesn't now.
It
don't.
Right, it doesn't
Yeah,
now.
it don't now, but it could
I had
have.
a whole new, different attitude.
Yeah.
Until I listened to y'all say, they said, "What's going on this weekend?"
Sure.
And nobody said, "Well, Linnell's on her way here."
Yeah.
So she took that, and she could have spent it and cracked some jokes, or had some type of sense of humor with the whole thing, but she didn't choose to have that. She felt wrong. I don't know if she had to pay to be there to get an announcement to say that they was coming or what, and they dropped the ball, but she could have just maybe used another radio station next time when she pulled up to the city that she was in, or it's I don't know. Maybe she could have raised this thing off air with the with the director of the radio station or something to that degree. But she could have handled it a little more, professionally, if you ask me. Not to say that she was wrong for being upset, though. She wasn't wrong for being upset at all. I just think that, and I maybe expect more from her because, she is a comedian, and I fuck with Linnell. She's from the town. I fuck with Linnell. She is not wrong for being upset. I just think that, she could have probably, and she got off who she was mad at, but she probably could have did it in a way that was more cool, you know. But anyway, let's go to the rest of it.
And she's going on this weekend.
Yeah, you know,
So I
we
didn't even do
apologize for that. Lunel, we apologize for
I'll
that.
accept your apology, but it sucks.
I know it does, but guess what else is getting ready to go down? So we're going to do this interview right here with you, and it's going to play here in Dallas. And then
nobody said your bra straps or Lunel and that.
Yeah,
I was about to say
mine
this,
is.
Lou. I didn't know.
Y'all just don't care. Huh?
So, but let me
I
just
think
say
you look
this.
great.
We will definitely make sure you're promoted all weekend long for our rest of our 90 cities around the country.
I
How's
guess
that?
I must have paid for the
He didn't pay for nothing.
ad, right? Oh, but he didn't pay.
No.
Like I didn't pay.
Right.
Right.
But I'm here at 6 and 1 T.
Yeah.
I ain't here.
I know.
No.
Yeah. But he was here yesterday. Okay, I'm lying. But listen, Lunel. All right, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what's going on with
Well, she ain't taking this shit well at all. And it's 6 in the morning. I don't know. She must be on her period or something, probably. But she still get them.
you. First of all, I mean, you're happy you're in a relationship, right?
Is that what we're talking about this morning?
I'm just going to talk about what you want to
I
talk
would
about.
like to
whatever you
promote
wanna
that.
talk
I'll
about.
tell you what we're going to
Yeah,
do.
I would like
whatever
to
you wanna
promote
talk
the
about.
shows that I'm here
Yeah.
to promote.
I'm sorry?
I would really like to talk about the shows.
Okay,
that
I'll
I'm
tell
here
you
to
what,
promote.
we'll give you the floor. You go right on
I
ahead
don't
and
want the
promote.
floor. I just want to do my job.
Mhm.
My job was to come in and talk about the shows this weekend.
Yeah.
So they trying to get out her way. She won't let them, she just want them to feel how upset she is. I don't want the floor. I want the Lanelle. Damn.
I've already done one.
Okay.
All right.
Which was last night.
How'd it go?
It went amazing.
Cool.
They always show it from here in Texas.
Yes, they
and I
do.
got family here. They could be here in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I said that.
Not the threat.
Yeah.
Did.
She didn't threaten the whole radio station. Not subtly either. Like, they could be here in 5 minutes. My family could be. Everybody in there from there. So it's ridiculous.
We all got family here. Yeah, we stay here.
I got family in the room.
No,
I got family in the room.
I do too.
No, we not
That's the
doing
thing.
that. We not
yeah,
doing
we
that.
all got family. We from here.
Okay, Lunel.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Lunel, listen, you're one of my favorite. I remember going to one of your shows. You had all your family there, and I thought that was a beautiful thing. But I'm going to be honest with you. We apologize that we did not promote you. But like I said, we will be promoting you all over the country all weekend long because it's going to play on our national show on the 90 cities starting on Monday. So we will definitely promote. Now, is there another
On
show?
Monday, I'll be in another state.
That's what I was
on
getting ready to say.
Monday.
We have 90 cities. Which city are you going to be in? Maybe we're in that one.
Oh my God. Let's start over.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make you happy. I don't know what happened
you
here.
didn't get no advance. You don't know about my residency every Sunday and Monday in Vegas?
Okay, yeah, they just told me about it right now.
Oh,
They
because
just
it's been for the last 7 years.
Yes, since 2020.
JJ. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So, people of the radio, listening audience, this is me, Lunel, the original bad girl of comedy.
Come on.
I have an attitude. I got butthurt about not being promoted before I got here. You never know what people are saying about you when you're not in the room.
Sure.
Apparently, that was nothing. And I felt some type of way about it. I came in here with an attitude, and I'm hurt. But I'm here now. And I just want you guys to come out and see me this weekend
100%.
at the Arlington Improv. I have 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow night, and I did one last night already. And I'm always happy to play anywhere in Texas because I have so much family here, as do you.
Big face. Yeah, big face. A lot of love for everybody in this room in the city. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
We got a lot of love in this room.
So, Lunel, are you going to be mad the whole interview?
I might.
Oh, come on.
Kevin, it's still, here we go.
I feel like that's part of your act a little bit. Is that part of your act a little bit?
You guys know it's not at all.
Okay.
You guys work in the morning. I work at night.
No.
We're sleep deprived. We go through delays, luggages, and all
Right.
that type of stuff.
You look great,
And when we
though.
get up, of course I do.
That's
When we
right.
get up in the morning to come here, I want to have a beautiful experience. I got my fucking, excuse me, bleep.
No, you all
I'm
right?
not
We
trying to get
recorded.
you a fine. But I got
We
my
recorded.
feelings hurt, and it's, like, get over it. It's like, fix it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm telling you that what we're getting ready to do going forward, I've apologized. I'm trying to figure out what else you want me to do. I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, well, let's just talk about me.
Okay.
Girl, what's your Instagram?
All right, let's go to the part where she fell. Sound like you're trying to come out of it, but
Different men or those things you bought?
I bought every piece of jewelry.
Come
that I
on.
have on.
Are
You
you
better pop
serious?
it. Come on.
Your nails, them things
Really?
is crazy.
I know. I'm thinking that I was like, oh,
I ain't reposted the story yet, but it's some shit about the nails. I don't want y'all.
ooh, them
I
men be
don't
giving
get.
her.
I don't get gifts like that.
What? Really?
Your bracelet game is crazy.
What kind of gifts they be giving you though?
I don't get gifts.
Come on, internet, come on. I know you here somewhere. Lord,
You'd be like, I'm good. I got my own.
No, I would love gifts. I just don't.
I did
Get
think
them.
that.
No, I don't do the things maybe that chicks.
Now this turned into a pity party of some sort. Maybe I need to let it kind of blow it up soon. I shouldn't have to do that. We live. This is internet. I mean, you know.
Get gifts.
Yeah. You seem like you keep it overly real. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, maybe that's part of the reason. You see what I'm saying? Everybody don't respect real.
That's that Oak Town right there, baby. That's that Dorsey's Life. That's right there, baby. God is blessed me to have no money.
You take care of yourself.
That watch looks real. What's up?
Come on.
Nothing is fake.
I know that's right.
But a pop
It's shining over
These are
there.
ruby.
Yeah, it went back to the Lord. All right, I'm about to just go.
I know they are.
These are diamonds.
I gotta see it now. I'm in there. I'm trying to.
Club. That's why we have do a lot of behind the scenes content.
I gotta see. I'm trying to get to the end. 'Cause it don't sound like she was happy and nothing happened.
Have you tried it? Have you tried it?
Do I look like I'm trying?
I don't think I'll show it. I don't know if it actually happened. I thought I'd seen it.
All right.
I mean, I'm just saying clearly.
That ain't no.
Men want to talk now.
Right.
See.
Right.
But yeah, so
It's a good
the nails
thing though. Remember, we used to keep our feelings inside.
Exactly.
are. I used to kind of, because you like the way they feel on your skin when they rub you with the nails, but they can't be that long. You can't wipe your ass with those nails, man. You can't wipe your ass with the nails, and you know how I know because the lady said it. I put it on my story on Instagram probably like later on this evening or tomorrow. Y'all can check that out. If you ain't following me on Instagram, I don't know. Do yourself a favor and follow me on Instagram. I'm about to get more active on Instagram again because I need to do more things on Instagram and or TikTok. But let's go on with the rest of the show. So that happened. And the thing that moved me the most was the fact that, okay, so Adrian Broner is apparently, I don't know if y'all know who Adrian Broner is. He's a boxer who's currently on live stream with Dean the Great. And I guess he has been motivated to try to get his shit together and get back in fighting shape as he looked at a picture of himself from the past. And he said he's going to lock in and he's going to give himself 45 days to get back in shape to fight. I don't know if he can do it in that little bit of time, but, I ain't nowhere. Far be it for me to doubt that he can do it. He could probably definitely do some transformation in that time, but I don't know if he'll be in fighting shape. But that's what he's on, and so he's locked in, and he's trying to get it. He's trying to get it right. He had the help of Dean. He locked in this building, and he can't leave for 45 days. He said he can't leave for 45 days. I'm impressed. If he can do this, I'll be impressed. Although it is his profession.
We got a long way to go. A lot of weight to lose. Got to get back comfortable. I ain't even comfortable yet. And I don't mean comfortable like to where I'm just relaxed. I'm just like to where I feel good. I'm saying, you know how many times I almost threw up in this workout? For real. I held it together. I know ain't no quitting me. Ain't no quitting me. I don't give a fuck what's broke or what's hurting. You gonna have to kill me. If I don't die, that fight ain't gonna stop. But if I ain't too up to where I'm too inebriated or my too knocked off, that fight ain't gonna get started. A bitch gonna have to knock my dick gotta knock my dick off.
Each training session represents another step toward redemption, another chance to reshape the narrative that's followed Bronner throughout his career.
You know, he got some work to do. But he set a goal, and he didn't get the dopamine hit from just announcing that he about to do it. Now he's got to put his best foot forward and do an extreme amount. It's like 6 months of work in a month and a half. You know what I'm saying? He about to be, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. A month and a half is all that ain't even 90 days. 90 days would have probably been more. He probably could have got more done for sure. He got to do 90 days worth of shit in half the time. That man got a beer belly. I don't know how much weight he got to lose to get rid of that, but it probably ain't nothing but about 40 pounds of just not eating and working out and drinking water and not eating and working out and drinking water. You know what I'm saying? And then he eat maybe once every 3 days till he get back to where he, in weight. But kudos to him, bro. Kudos to him. Kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know what's going on with him and DDG and Dean the Girl. They I don't know. They made a diss song about. I had the stomach to watch all that shit. I ain't care about that, but that's going on too. But yeah, so that's all I got for Is That Right? And I'm sorry for Celebrity Spotlight. Next up, we just gonna have to go straight to Don't Be a Weirdo. Today's episode, Don't Be a Weirdo. We got some shit going on that's pretty heavy. Apparently there was a move to disband child pornography in, I forget what state, but there are some individuals that are blocking that. They are our weirdos of the week. So let's see. All right, so yeah, Colorado. And this they names. And I'm gonna read all of them. So y'all just kind of bear with me because it's a lot of them, but they all to stop AI porn, child porn is I mean, you're not trying to stop it with you complicit anyway. So they're not trying to stop it. You weird. Carlos Barron, Scott Bottoms, Brandy Bradley, Max Brooks, Ken DeGraff, Lori Garcia Sander, Ryan Gonzalez, Rebecca Kelty, Rose Puglisi, Christopher Richardson, Matt Slopper, Larry Don Suckler, Rick Taggart, Ty Winter, Dan Woog, and Ron Weinberg. Oh, he sound like he definitely. Anyway, yeah, y'all all weird for not voting against that. Those are our weirdos of the week. Do with that you will. You need to take it, pause it, rewind it, and go find out who they are in your area. And I don't know. Talk to them on Instagram, man. I don't know. Maybe, figure out what to do about that, because that's something that needs to pass. And that's all I got for don't be a weirdo. Those are our weirdos of the week. And now on to a segment I like to call Who Got Active? Of course, we talked about earlier the people that were supposed to be doing the autopsies are dropping the ball. Apparently, there's individuals inside of what's it called? This camp. What's his name? Benjamin Crump's camp. So, whoa. So we finna let this lady go. This is another kid that was victimized. Rest in peace to him. Stacey Turner. She's out of here. See, that's not necessarily necessary anymore. Thank you, Miss Lady. Because of Colin Kaepernick's company. I think it's called it's similar to the what is it that the brother from Real Knockers got going on. But anyway, Colin Kaepernick is our activated individual of the week because he does that company free autopsies. So that was how I guess they was able to do an independent autopsy that was going to figure out what was really going on, cause of death. I think they was able to see that with the Nolan situation, his lungs didn't have any water in them. So that means that he was not dead. That he was dead before he went into the water because he hadn't breathed any of the water in. That would only happen if he was like he would legitimately drown if he had breathed water in, and after he'd been holding his breath and couldn't hold it no more. Once you die, you don't breathe anymore, so there's no lungs. There's no water going in your lungs. You know what I'm saying? So in the autopsy, they can determine that, and it's imperative to get an independent autopsy because some of these cases, the autopsy dude is either in cahoots with the police department there because he has to live there. Maybe he's been threatened or he, is forced or coerced into it. But with Colin's company, that's not necessarily a block anymore. So shout out to him for developing that, and we appreciate that, bro. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all showing up. Y'all have a wonderful weekend or a week. And I hope you have a productive week. Y'all come back and see me, but that's been the show. It's Jamerson Ballard signing off. Y'all have a wonderful day.